As the Mets continue spring training, we are under 3 weeks until opening day. So let's check in on what's going on with the Amazins. And we're going to do it with the host of the Believe in Mets podcast, Nicholas Durst, who joins me now. Nick, what's up, man?
What's going on, Dexter? Pleasure to be here with you to end the weekend talking a little Mets baseball.
Always good to talk some Mets baseball with you and Nick. On Saturday, manager Carlos Mendoza acknowledged that he had informal conversations with Brandon Nimmo earlier in camp about moving him down in the batting order, but the team has reached a conclusion that they are better served keeping him in the leadoff spot for now. Is there a better option for the Mets at the top of the order, or should Nimmo be the leadoff hitter for the entire 2024 season?
Absolutely need to keep Nimmo in the leadoff spot. There's no other option, really. That's the fact of the matter. Harrison Bader hasn't shown that he can hit enough. Dropping Nimmo down the lineup, I don't think it really makes that much sense. Where's he going to bat? You get a bat in 3. I don't remember the last time Francisco Lindor batted below 4 in the lineup, unless you're moving him up and McNeil. A lot of question marks in this lineup, but something that's not a question mark is Brandon Nimmo producing at the leadoff spot. He's going to get on base. He's going to draw walks, and you need runners on for Pete Alonso, who's poised to have a really strong MVP-type caliber season going into free agency. Need to have as many runners on base for Pete Alonso to drive in, and Brandon Nimmo is the only given at the top of the lineup for the New York Mets.
All right, so keep Brandon Nimmo at the top of the lineup. Now, Nick, you know this. Sometimes you get a haircut, you're feeling good, you're feeling fresh. Sean Manaea, he got a haircut. Then he pitched 4 scoreless innings against the Cardinals on Saturday. Was looking pretty good on the mound. Are you believing in Manaea keeping up last season's second-half resurgence that we saw with the Giants? Do you think he can keep that up in 2024?
Well, it's pretty funny. This shows you the state of the Mets right now, where him getting a haircut is the second biggest story in Mets spring training, other than Keith Hernandez getting hacked on X trying to sell MacBook Pros recently. But Manaea gets the haircut. He looks fantastic. He looks great. And now he's pitching better. Maybe his fastball is going to uptick some velocity with less hair, as you see in that picture there, getting in the way of the pitches coming to the plate. But for me, I'm not necessarily believing in Manaea. Last year, 4.44 ERA, but that was only in 10 starts, 27 appearances out of the bullpen. So for me, I think durability is going to be the main question mark for him. Is he going to be able to give you 25 starts? Is he going to be able to go deep in games? Obviously, it helps that he's a lefty. But to me, Manaea going into the season, still a major question mark.
All right, major question mark with Manaea. We don't have to question the hair. That is gone for now. Moving on, last week, Buster Olney of ESPN reported that the Mets fully intend to pursue Yankee star Juan Soto next offseason. Should Soto be a player that the Mets look to add down the road in free agency, or should they spend their money on other needs?
Well, it seems like ever since David Stearns came in, this has been the target right now. Let's go for a 2025. Let's try to do it all. Go all in for Juan Soto. Only reporting the Mets are going for Soto. I don't know how much to read into this, because the same report came out last spring. The Mets were going to go all out for Shohei Ohtani. They could barely get a meeting. It's going to come down to are the Mets going to be able to compete this year and play good, because that's going to be a motivating factor for Juan Soto beyond just the money. He's going to want to play for a team where he could compete. He's going to play in New York this season. He'll get a taste of New York. But obviously, the Mets should attempt to go after him. But I would not attempt to go after him in lieu of the rest of the needs in the team. They're going to have 4 starters who are going to be free agents next season. Most of their bullpen guys are going to be free agents. They're going to have another year older of a lot of the starting players in the starting lineup. There's going to be a lot of question marks on the roster going to 2025, a lot of holes to fill. The biggest question mark of all is going to be, will Pete Alonso be here? So it's a really tough thing to debate there. Can they sign Pete Alonso and Juan Soto? I think that's the main way you get Juan Soto to Queens, is if he's able to team up with Pete Alonso in the middle lineup. And that shows Juan Soto and his agent, Scott Boras, who was also the agent of Pete Alonso, that the Mets are in business for 2025 and beyond.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Talks about that will heat up as we move throughout the season and into the offseason before 2025. But that's a ways away. We talked about Sean Manaea, but this Mets starting rotation will head into a 2024 season with Kodai Senga on the injured list. How are you feeling about the starters heading into this upcoming season right now?
I'm feeling worried, Dexter, because this starting rotation, they are a bunch of question marks. That's really what it comes down to. They're banking on Luis Severino being the stud ace of the staff for some reason. Severino last year, he was the self-proclaimed worst pitcher in the major leagues, and his numbers backed it up. He had a negative 1.5 WAR, 6.65 ERA last season. Not great, tipping pitches, giving up home runs. The main thing that I'm concerned about with Severino is that he hasn't started 20 games in a season since 2018. That's a while now. So the Mets are going to need some innings out of him, some starts. Adrian Hauser, they acquire him. He's a decent guy for a fifth starter, but with the Senga injury now, he's the number 4 starter. 4.12 ERA last year, only 111 innings pitched. Again, where are the Mets getting all these innings from? Quintana, I think he's solid. He's going to have a great season, but he was hurt last year, so how many innings is he going to give you? It's really going to be a major issue filling the innings this season for the Mets, and they're going to need likely 8 to 10 starters this year to fill out those innings. And what it comes down to, Dexter, with this rotation and the pitching in general, is when you're dealing with a lot of ifs. If this guy could pitch this many innings, if he could have a bounce back year, same goes for the lineup. If they could have a good season, if we're dealing with ifs, you're not dealing with reality. So maybe a reality check is needed, and we'll get that come opening day.
Well, Mets fans are hoping that you're wrong on that. The optimistic Mets fans.
I hope so too. I hope I'm wrong too.
I know you do. You heard a lot of questions. You're right. A lot of ifs that we heard there, and there's still time for those questions to be answered. We will get answers to those questions. That is one thing that is for sure. One thing we don't have to worry about, that is Nicholas Durst. Check out Believe in Mets podcast. He is the host of that great podcast covering the New York Mets. Nick, always good to talk some Metropolitan baseball with you. We will talk again soon.
Yes, for sure, Dexter. Let's go Mets.